Welcome to Homebound Chefs with Jim and Jeff. In this episode, our favorite chefs make caprese salad, bruschetta, and a sausage and meatball with pasta feast.
Homebound Chefs at it again. The Jays are going to make pasta, homemade meatballs and sausage, bruschetta, and caprese salad. Neil and Jill are coming over, and Di, we're going to celebrate together.
For the first time in 6 weeks, we're having guests.
And if you can notice, we have a new dude staring over us. That's Mr. May.
Welcome, Mr. May. May you enjoy the Italian feast we're about to prepare.
See you in a bit. Making the meatballs first. We've got 1.5 pounds of pork and 1.5 pounds of ground beef in here. We've already minced up the parsley that I did in the food processor because it's a lot faster. And what I'm doing right now is breaking up 4 leftover hamburger rolls and 1 leftover hot dog roll for the bread. We're going to add 4 eggs. We're going to add garlic, salt, and pepper. The fresh parsley goes in. You roll them in the breadcrumbs, and then you normally saute them in the pan, but I'm not sauteing them. There's going to be too many. We're making a big batch because we're having company over. We're going to show you how to make some of the other stuff later. Just so you know, it's quite early on a Sunday morning to be doing this. So my husband is a little bit tired and maybe a touch bit hungover.
Maybe.
Buzzing along. Roll them in the breadcrumbs, put them in the pan. And so the reason you saute them in the big pot, which I'm going to put them in the oven, so you get a lot of the oils and flavors from the meat, but instead I scrape down the cookie sheets and put them right in. Okay, the meatballs are done, rolled. The sausage are on the tray. We're going to put them into the oven at 350 for a half hour. And because I'm running 2 trays, I'm going to rotate them in 15 minutes and just let them cook up.
So in the pot, we've got onion sauteing in olive oil. Pretty basic. Jim is about to add a bunch of salt to help sweat the onions, bring out the moisture, start to caramelize them. Some pepper going in right now. Good amount. Like we always say, season, season, season.
You want to saute them and get them transparent. Make sure that they come out a little bit lighter. Onions are all sauteed and opaque. The heat is off. It's going to sit until the meatballs and the sausage go in, and then we'll continue on. Okay, guys, we're taking the meatballs out, and we're going to add them to the stock pot along with the sausages. That's the first batch. Now, I put the sausage in first because they're a little bit stronger than some of the meatballs sometimes. That'll allow them to sit on the bottom at first so we don't get a lot of broken up. I don't like broken up meat in my sauce. Okay, so all the meatballs are in the stock pot. All the sausage are in the stock pot. Now we're going to add, for this size, about 1.5 cups of wine. And we're going to cook it out. Cook the wine flavor out, get the alcohol out. And then once that cooks out, we'll add the tomato and then the finely chopped basil, which is over here. Jeff's sampling the meatball, and they did come out amazing. The sauce is in, tomatoes are in. And by the way, this is a sauce, not a gravy. And one of my friends will know exactly what I'm talking about because he calls it gravy, I call it sauce. Fresh basil's gone in. There's already salt and pepper from the earlier stage. And I'm using fresh basil because I like the way it works better than the dried basil. Now I can really mix this because I put the 4 cans of tomatoes in, and I put in half a can of water. I've got it on a little high heat. A lot of times people will throw a carrot in, sometimes a potato in to get the acid out of the tomatoes, or sugar. I do none of that. I actually bring it to a little bit of a boil and then simmer it all day, and it will get that acid right out of there.
We're not eating till at least 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it's 10:15 right now. So that gives you an idea of how long this is going to come together.
Hey folks, we're hoping that you guys have all enjoyed these videos. We're hoping that you will maybe make the food or want to know how to make the food. If you would like the recipes, you can message me on Facebook. If you'd like it to make it for 2, I can reduce it down so that you can make dinner for 2 and have a special dinner. We've had a lot of fun doing this. We're hoping to do some more in the future. But we want to take the time to thank a bunch of people. First of all the first responders, the nurses, the doctors, and the people that are putting their life in the line to save all of us and help all of us in this COVID-19 crisis. We also want to reach out and send our prayers of healing thoughts to all the families that have lost loved ones. I'm sure this is intense for everybody. It's intense seeing the numbers every day for us. Our hearts and prayers go out to you all. Please be safe. Please be good to each other. Enjoy one another.
Amen.
Okay, so we're making the caprese salad. And what I've done is made a balsamic reduction again. Brushed it a little on the plate. We're going to drizzle a little bit over the very top of it. We got vine ripe tomatoes. We're going to cut them up. Decent thickness. By the way, I resharpened my knives this morning. I'm making this a little early because I'm going to put it in the fridge and chill it. And I want the basil to really catch into the cheese and give it some dynamite flavor. So we decided to do these kind of snacks for little appetizers with Neil and Jill, because a lot of times we'll do some appetizers and then we'll make stuff ahead of the meal, and then you're almost full by the time the meal comes. So these were light appetizers.
Jim is layering the tomatoes on top of the balsamic reduction. He's going to add fresh basil and buffalo mozzarella. And like he said, he's going to drizzle some of the reduction over the top when it's all put together. So here we have the finished caprese salad. The balsamic reduction was brushed on the bottom of the serving platter. Fine ripened tomatoes were sliced about 3/8 of an inch thick, half an inch thick, layered with fresh buffalo mozzarella, seasoned with salt and pepper, fresh basil leaves layered on top, and drizzled with a little bit more of the balsamic reduction. That's going to go in, and olive oil was drizzled on there as well. That's going to go in the fridge and set up and then let the flavors melt together until we're ready to serve as an appetizer for our Italian feast. See you soon.
Guys, we're going to make the bruschetta mix right now so we can put that in the fridge and let it marinate for a while. So we have chopped up tomatoes. We're going to add a little bit of pepper. Not a lot. A little bit of salt. Normally I would put some onion in here, but onions don't agree with Diane, so we're making it so that she can eat it too. That's the fresh basil going in. A little bit of olive oil. And a little bit of Italian cheese. Then we're gonna, and then of course, guys, my favorite, minced garlic. And notice I do use jarred garlic because I don't like chopping up garlic and getting it all over my hands. Now, I'm gonna mix this all up. I'm gonna marinate it together. Throw it in the fridge. Let it sit. And perfect. A little bit of olive oil. And we're going to brush it on the bread. Then we're going to toast them. Then we'll put the tomato on. And before Jill and Diane get here, we will actually broil them up a little bit. That way the cheese in the bruschetta mix will melt. And we'll put them out in the server. There we go.
Here's the bruschetta coming out of the oven. The bread has been toasted, brushed with a little olive oil, about 8 minutes at 350 under the broiler. Obviously use your eyeballs, you don't want to burn it. Jim is about to spoon some of the topping mixture onto it to let it kind of sink in a little bit. And then, like we said before, we'll put it under the broiler to finish it off. See you on the flip side. We are on Sunday Fun Day. Our guests have arrived. They're in the other room, they're camera shy. This is the caprese salad that we made earlier. And the bruschetta is about to come out of the oven. We'll show you that in a minute. And we'll show you everything else when it's plated and we're about to dig in.
Show me. Hi!
The guests are a little less camera shy than I thought. So the appies are ready. We've got the caprese salad and the bruschetta. We topped it with a little shaved Parmesan, stuck it under the broiler to heat it up for a few minutes. We're about to partake of the first round of our feast. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back to show you the main meal when we're ready. And this is our beautiful tablescape. We're officially using the dining room. No more to-go meals. Georgia has crazily gone back to work. So we're having people over. Carpe diem. May the force be with you.
A lot of times the box will say cook 10 to 14 minutes depending on the pasta. This is Mueller's penny pasta. And it said about 12 minutes. I went 11 because I like it al dente. One thing you can't do is just put it in the pot, set the timer, and let it go. You got to keep it moving. That way it won't stick together and everything cooks evenly. Okay, guys.
Put your head down.
The feast is on the table. We have sausage and meatballs. We have pasta. We have salad. Everything is ready to go. I would like to thank Jen and William Whipple for doing all the editing on this project that we've been doing. They are great friends, great realtors from Red Gecko Homes and Keller Williams. Look forward to seeing you again. It might be a little while because I'm back to work on Monday.
So thanks for joining us again for our first actual sit-down dinner as opposed to a to-go takeaway dinner party. We enjoyed doing this for you. Jim's going back to work tomorrow, so it'll be a while before we can do it again, but bon appetit.